But before I give the floor to the Secretariat, Mr. Balsamo, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. We received a factual error notification concerning the evaluation of the evaporated karst and caves on northern Apennines. And this is to be found on page 2 of document INF 8B4 add. Thank you.
Thank you very much. IUCN, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning. Please can I have the next slide with the map. So the evaporated karst and caves of the northern Apennines is a serial property spanning 3,680 hectares with 9 component parts and buffer zones, and the buffer zones totaling 8,348 hectares. These components represent 2 distinct geological periods. Firstly, the Triassic period, approximately 200 million years ago, associated with the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea and the formation of the modern continents. And secondly, the ecological catastrophe known as the Messinian salinity crisis phase from 6 million years ago, when the Mediterranean Sea largely evaporated. Next slide, please. The current cave system, which is developed within this formation over the last 500,000 years, and is a cave system that hosts over 900 caves, including some of the world's deepest gypsum caves, reaching 265 meters below the surface. Furthermore, the property also contains unique chemical deposits and minerals, some of which are not found anywhere else. The nominated property also contains many noteworthy and unique hydrological features and surfaced karst forms, including unusually large gypsum cone features, salt springs, and speleothems. The nominated area can be considered as the area with the most profusely studied, most accessible, and most comprehensively displayed and well-protected epigenic gypsum cave systems of the world. It contains an exceptional diversity of well-documented chemical deposits and minerals associated with this type of gypsum cave. So in conclusion, IUCN considers that the nominated property demonstrates global significance under Criterion 8 in its representation of epigenetic gypsum karst, and in this sense, the nominated property would also fill a gap in the World Heritage List that was identified in past IUCN thematic studies. Next slide, please. The protection regime of the nominated property is composed of a wide range of protected designations at all levels. 96% of the nominated area protected under the European Union's Natura 2000 network, 70% protected by national park and 2 regional parks, and most of the remaining areas are nature reserves, protected landscapes, and protected areas under local law. The buffer zone and the land adjacent to the nominated property is subject to the territorial and landscape planning of the Emilia-Romagna region that establishes the rules for the management of the territory. Next slide, please. So overall, IUCN notes that adequate protection through these different legislative and management programs are covering most of the nominated property. However, according to our evaluation, there remain gaps in protection within the nominated property and for some important attributes of the proposed OUV, which are located close to but outside the nominated areas. So whilst the boundaries mostly encompass the attributes of OUV within the nominated property, there are these gaps, notably outside the boundaries of the component parts of Alte Valle Teccia and parts of Vene del Gesso, Romagnola. And a revision of the boundaries and complete protection coverage is therefore still required. The property has a management system that benefits from adequate staffing and adequate budgets. There are good monitoring systems for geological, ecological and climate aspects that are in place. And while the management structure is outlined in the nomination, it is not yet fully operational. Overall threats to the property are low, but there is some gypsum quarrying, agriculture, and possible threats from increased tourism, and it is recommended not to extend one quarry permit, which is a potential threat, and to initiate restoration activities. Last slide, please. So, Mr. Chair, in conclusion, IUCN recommends the committee to refer back the nomination to the State Party to deal with these remaining small modifications to boundaries and consolidation of the protection regime to adequately, fully and adequately cover the nominated area. I'd also just like, in closing, Mr. Chair, to acknowledge, as with a number of the other sites we presented here, the very good level of dialogue with the State Party regarding these remaining issues that we consider need to be solved in relation to the property before it could be inscribed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I would like Ethiopia. You may have the floor.
Thank you, Chairperson. Ethiopia expresses its appreciation to the IUCN for its very in-depth evaluation and its important suggestion to this very significant nomination. We have thoroughly considered this nomination as it could fill a gap in the World Heritage List that the IUCN itself has highlighted since 2008 for cast in evaporite rocks. Furthermore, my delegation would like to recall that in 2021, revised global framework for the application of criterion 8 of the World Heritage Convention, it was noted that the IUCN, there has been no progress regarding nominations in relation to gypsum karst. We believe that the evaporatic karst and caves of the Northern Apennine merits inscription on the World Heritage List, as it may finally fill in the gap in criterion 8 due to its unique characteristics. The property represents the most complete, well-preserved, accessible, and an example of the karst phenomena in gypsum. The 9 component parts of the serial nomination include: A, the evaporite cave with the deepest drop in the world's largest epigenetic cave, and the largest karst salt spring in Europe. The evaporatic karst and caves in Northern Apennines property groups the worldwide and first and best studied areas with regard to geology, mineralogy, hydrogeology, and speleology in evaporite karst systems since 16th century. IUCN evaluation states that the nominated property meets the criterion 8 and thus recognizes its outstanding universal value. Regarding the conditions of integrity, protection, and management, we recognize that the state party has provided significant and important updating to comply with the arguments for which a referral has been proposed. Regarding the legal protection, the state party has demonstrated that the entire nominated property and its buffer zones are covered by an integrated system of legal measures acting in combination with each other that prohibits any modification or degradation. It is also the understanding of our delegation that quarrying activities is prohibited on the entire property and the only active quarry is located in the buffer zone. We welcome the state party's commitment, which has already been assured not to extend it and to start restoration activities as soon as practical. Therefore, we are pleased to be the lead proponent for inscription of this property on the basis of its outstanding universal value. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Zambia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The past few days, we've spent a lot of time moving sites, cultural sites, which have been recommended by the advisory bodies for referral or even deferral in that case. And considering the fact that when you look at this thematic area, this is a thematic area which is underrepresented on the World Heritage listing, Zambia will not hesitate but move fast to recommend the inscription of this site so that we can have more geological sites being represented, and especially that we are also coming from a state party which has got a geological site. So we would like to have a number of sites which can provide sites for benchmarking, geological studies and research. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Japan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The nominated property is an impressive site with extensive epigenic gypsum karst, which fill a gap in karst World Heritage Site. In the area with the most profusely studied, most accessible, more comprehensive displayed, and better protected epigenic gypsum cave system in the world. The nominated property also contains an exceptional diversity of well-documented chemical deposit and mineral associated with gypsum caves, and has a very high density of caves. IUCN admits the quality of the cost system is excellent. So, we believe the criterion 8 is fully justified. As for the integrity and protection and management requirements, it looks like the state party has responded to the concerns of advisory body positively. Therefore, we support the proposed amendment. We would like to ask the state party at this stage if there is any activity which could threaten the nominated property. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sultan Oman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Oman wishes to appreciate the efforts made by the state party and the advisory bodies for their collaborations to inscribe the site on the World Heritage List on the basis of Criteria 8. We find that the nominated property is impressive, very well preserved and managed, and perfectly meets Criteria 8. The site, characterized by unique values, has a great scientific importance and contains unusual large diversity of chemical deposits and mineral associated with gypsum deposits and gypsum caves. In addition to its unusual, well-preserved and extensive epigenetic gypsum karst terrain, where some of these minerals are found nowhere else and no other area has as yet documented the same mineral diversity. For conserving its OUV, the state party has already taken many actions, represented by providing adequate resources for the management of the nominated areas and according to the management strategy. In addition, a long-term monitoring system has been set up and a structure of governance and management has been already drafted. Furthermore, we commend the revision of the curing adopted in 2023 to exclude any enlargement of the quarry parameter and ensure final restoration of the quarry. We also commend the availability by the state party to submit a minor boundary modification to enhance the condition of integrity of the property. For these reasons, we support the amendments proposed by Ethiopia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So since the lunch break is approaching, I would suggest that we resume the discussion on the afternoon session, but I would like to ask the Director of the World Heritage Center to list the speakers will take place after this session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. The following committee members have requested to take the floor. By order of intervention, we will start with Argentina, then Egypt, Greece, India, South Africa, Bulgaria, Belgium, and Qatar. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Also, the last thing I would like to ask for is, as agreed, that we will, a group will meet to adjust the draft decision of the nomination submitted by Iran. ECOMOS and the Secretariat are ready to assist this group, but we would like to know who will be part of this group. As we understand, Oman will be leading on this group. From the members of the committee. Egypt, you'd like to be part of that group? Greece? So it seems we have none. Nigeria?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nigeria will volunteer as well.
Thank you very much, Nigeria. Okay, so we will wait the results this afternoon. Thank you so much. See. I'll pass the floor for general announcement also for the Director of the World Heritage Center.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. It's just to announce that we will have one side event which will start at 1:30 in Hegre Room, which is the advisory body space, organized by ICROM and IUCN in the framework of the World Heritage Leadership, and it's titled The Heritage Place Lab, Fostering Research, Practice, Collaboration in the World Heritage. And also if you allow me just to recall to the members of the committee that the budget group will meet from 2 to 3 at the Bureau Room. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, and see you at 3.